see all of you, and let me begin by bringing special greetings from Dr. Fred Newman, who could not be here with us tonight. He's recovering from a bout of pneumonia, but he sent his love and warm regards and a special shout out to the gentleman who joined us from South Carolina, and a congratulations to all of you. One of the ways that we see social change movements starting to impact is that you see them starting to have the effect of changing the conversation, changing the issues that people are talking about and the way that they're talking about those issues. It's a good measure. And we see that throughout history. In 1930, when Gandhi led the Salt March to protest the British tax on the production of salt, the conversation was about how the British were bringing civilization to the poor people of India. But after the Salt March, the conversation began to change, and it became a conversation about self-determination, about independence, and about the resources of India belonging to the people of India, not to the British. And that change in conversation was an important and mighty redirect, shall we call it. In the 1950s and the 1960s, here in our own country, the civil rights movement, with the leadership of so many, including Dr. King, began to impact and change the conversation. The post-war conversation had been all about the ascension of the middle class to the American dream. But it wasn't an American dream for everyone. And so that movement began to change the conversation, so that it wasn't just about a rarefied or narrow opportunity for the American dream. It was about making that dream available to everyone. Everyone had that dream. And the conversation changed to having the dream that one day we would judge each other not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. And that changed a national conversation. There's a conversation change going on in the world today, I think. One way to describe it is it's a change of conversation about the importance of democracy. Democracy, the activity through which human beings organize their societies and express their creativity. Some people will tell you that, oh yeah, that conversation, yeah, that's going on, you know, overseas. You know, we've had that conversation already here in America. You know, we settled that conversation. Oh yeah, we had it way back when we wrote the Constitution. And you know, we had to make a few adjustments after that, you know, so we had the Civil War. And we adopted a few amendments to the Constitution, and that took care of it. The democracy issue is taken care of here in America, they say. Nothing more to talk about. But if you travel around this country and you go to diverse communities and you talk to many, many different kinds of Americans, and you look at the fact that 38% of the country today are independents because they don't like the way our democracy is functioning, and they think partisanship is corrupting the political process, and there's too many people who are left out of the decision making, then you know that the conversation is not over in the United States of America. Actually, there's a new conversation about democracy, and it's just beginning. You know, Cathy, when Cathy mentioned some of the accomplishments of the New York City Independence Party, and there are many, and she was very modest about them and about her own role in them, and she didn't tell you exactly how hard fought and hard won those things were, because the Independence Party here in New York was founded on a vision of expanding democracy and political independence and including all people But it turns out that the state leadership of our party didn't want to go down that road. As soon as they got a phone call from the Democrats and Republicans and said, oh yeah, we don't want you to be that kind of movement, we want you to be the way third parties are in New York. You line up with one of the other political parties and you put us on your line and help us get more votes, and that's the end of the story. Well, we said, wait a second. That's not why we founded the Independence Party. That's not what this movement is about. This is a movement about reforming the political process, doing something about the fact that in New York City there's 1 million independents who can't vote in the decision-making rounds of almost every election that takes place in the city. That's not right. That has to change. And I'll tell you, when Wayne Griffin called up from South Carolina, and you'll meet him in a little bit, but I just want to say on a personal note that we would not be having this celebration tonight were it not for our friend Wayne Griffin. And Wayne called up and he said, hey, you know, something's about to go down here. You know, Republicans are going into court. They want to close the primaries. We've had an open primary system here. They want to close that down. They want to lock independents out. They want to clamp down on democracy, and they want to prevent us from building that very powerful coalition that brought together independents in the African American community in the Obama campaign in 2008. They want to lock that down. We have to do something. And we said, yes, we will. And we did. And you'll be hearing a lot more about that tonight. But here's the thing, you see, the folks in South Carolina, the gentlemen who are here with us today, who we're so proud to have as our guests, and the New York City Independence Party, I see so many executive committee members and leaders and activists from all around the city here today. You're changing the conversation. You're changing the conversation in our country and in the world. And you're saying, hey, we can't abide the old definitions of the democratic process. We've got to move the ball down the field. There's too much at stake for our families and for our country and for the world. So my thoughts to you is to salute your work, to let you know that I'm very, very proud to be a part of this conversation-changing activity. It's wonderful to work with all of you, and I hope that our partnership with the folks from South Carolina continues on from this point, and we take it not just to a South Carolina level, but to a regional level and to a national level as well. I think it's very, very important to do that. So I want to thank you all for being here, and to get our program moving to the next step, I want to introduce our next speaker. He is